Styles, the man that you are. This is my number one, man.
I have it at number 4. I found that wildly disrespectful.
There is a choir shaking the listener awake. Harry's talking about unintimate sex, which also kind of shakes the listener awake to some degree.
Your mind is so powerful.
Billboard staff is reacting to our ranking for Harry Styles' new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally.
I love Harry's writing when it feels more journalistic like this, when there are specific references to places, and I think we can maybe guess who it's about. But I just think there are so many better songs that shine brighter on this album.
I actually really like Taste Back. There's the synths are huge. The hook is huge. It's very warm. It's very dripping in nostalgia. I think that some of the lines are really effective. Placed in kind of the center of the album, right before that kind of mid-album pivot, it's pretty effective.
I have this probably in the 10 to 8 range. I don't think it's the dead worst song on the album, but I do think that I really enjoy the way that the restlessness of the beat kind of gives you this idea of reconciliation, but are you able to actually reconcile fully with this person or not, or do you just want them for the moment? I like how his voice is kind of subdued on this track, gives you a little bit of that apprehension that the lyrics are hinting at. I don't know, I don't think this is the number 12, but it's also like definitely not a top half for the album for me. At number 11, we have Are You Listening Yet? This is probably where I differentiate from the published ranking most. This is a top 5 song for me. I love it. It gives Harry meets the dare. I think it's super, super dope.
It's relentless, right? It is non-stop movement. There is a choir shaking the listener awake. Harry's talking about unintimate sex, which also kind of shakes the listener awake to some degree. As the 4th song on the track list, Are You Listening Yet? Is kind of the moment where things kick into high gear.
Lyrically, I think it felt a little too on the nose for what he's trying to deliver conceptually here. I think that's more tastefully done elsewhere. I do love the instrumental, but the lyrics just overpower it for me. This was a little higher in my ranking, but seems to be a fan favorite already. I think maybe we're a little biased here in America.
The first time I heard this, it sounded like a single to me. It sounded like Late Night Talking in the sense of kind of that 80s indebted found sound pastiche a little bit. Has a little bit of stately piano in it. It's very kind of slinky and very catchy, and this is number 2 on the track list right after Aperture. And to me, that it really kind of had the same effect of As It Was followed by Late Night Talking, where you have kind of the big lead single followed by something a little bit more radio friendly.
The payoff is undeniable. It's a fun, well done pop song. But I think the part of American Girls that is taking up most of my brain space is just the idea right now of kind of where America sits on the global stage, and some of our biggest non-American pop stars leaning into America as a concept. And you always justify playing the waiting game. I would probably put this also at number 9. I think that I appreciate the concept and what Harry was going for more than the execution on this one. The lyrics are a little bit, we were saying this earlier about other songs, a little bit too on the nose here for me. Honestly, I would have liked a little bit more metaphor for The Waiting Game, only because The Waiting Game is already such a plain, obvious title. But I also just do like to hear him open up a little bit more about what pop stardom, what superstardom kind of means to him.
The Waiting Game is all about compromising yourself and figuring out how to find success between the pressures around you versus what you actually want. This is kind of in the middle section of the album where he's taking a little step back from the relentless tempo and is more kind of contemplative and a little bit sorrowful. Like the strings in this song are really kind of emotionally affecting.
I also had this at number 9, so look at us.
Okay.
For me, it felt too safe sonically. It reminded me way too much of past work like Sunflower. I think there are things we love about his past work, but I want him to get weird with it. At number 8, we have Pop. Well, I don't have Pop at number 8. Justice for Pop, because I have it at number 4. I found that wildly disrespectful. I thought of all the songs that would go hard live, Pop would be up there at the top, and I think that for a really old, like, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll concept, it felt so fresh and so fun, and I can see Harry jumping around on stage to this.
Pop is all about reckless fun. I wish that Harry, just in general, kind of leaned into this pose a little bit more, because when he has a lot of that kind of thrashing around energy, it's really effective.
I actually had this one around like the 4 or 5 range, mostly because like it's a really fun hedonistic pop bop, and like that's kind of what you want from a big blockbuster dance album. He gives it to you tenfold here.
Of learning to paint by numbers, watching the colors.
At number 7, we have Paint by Numbers, which is my very strong number 2. I really, really, really adored this song. Even outside of the Beatlesness of the instrumentation here, which plays really well against his voice, I just love how honest this song is, because we don't necessarily get a lot of pop songs that are about what it's like being the younger man in a relationship with an older woman and the aftermath of that and what goes through your psyche with all of that. And I think it was really interesting to hear that perspective for what was a semi-public relationship that we didn't really get much out of as consumers and as fans. This song was a really nice gateway into that, and I think it's executed very, very beautifully.
It's almost like a guitar ballad, which is a little bit of a curveball on this album. It's very self-aware, self-prodding about who Harry is and what he wants to represent. I think that this song has, to me, the kind of like the mission statement for the album. Quote, "It's a lifetime of learning to paint by numbers and watching the colors run."
My ranking is lower, and that's no shade, because I loved it so much, and I was a really strong Beatles fan growing up, and I also heard that reference immediately. It just doesn't feel as compelling as the rest of the album, especially with like the disco undertones and the dance that's throughout. I wanted this concept more fleshed out. At number 6, we have Season 2 Weight Loss, which I might have put too low in my ranking already. These are ever-evolving situations. I have it at number 10, which I will probably regret. This, for me, is one of the best examples in Harry's whole discography of him really playing with texture and using his voice as an instrument.
Season 2 Weight Loss is a lonely song. It's interesting to see how Harry is evolving on this album, where he's talking about themes and issues that he really hasn't explored to this extent. This, to me, might be the best produced song on the whole album.
I think I have this around the number 8 range. I appreciate this song as a concept more than an actual sound recording. I love the big swing with like the trip hop elements. I think that's really, really dope to just hear Harry Styles attempt to do. I do feel like his voice is a little bit buried in this mix kind of across the whole song, and that dampens the whole affair for me a little bit.
Take no prisoners for me.
Number 5, we have Aperture. I'm not really an Aperture guy. I wasn't when the song dropped. I don't think I am now that the album's out. That's not to say the song's bad or forgettable or anything like that. I just do think there are stronger songs across the album. My reaction is probably a bit dampened because I didn't love its function as a lead single. I just feel like something more exciting could have been offered. But then I look at the track list and I'm like, this is probably the best choice for a lead single at the same time.
I love a bold, ambitious lead single. Get me something that is going to shake people awake, subvert expectations, go for it, right? Not kind of sneak into what this album is supposed to be, but present itself fully on the first listen. I love this song. I think that it's something totally new for him, but this album kind of represents that, right? When I heard this, I love not only the kind of inclusivity, but I love the warmth of this song. It feels like a cozy kind of hug, but it's an anthemic #1 smash dance song. It's exactly what it needs to be for a lead single.
I love Aperture. I think when I heard it as a single, I knew what was happening, and I think that Harry isn't like everyone in the sense that when he puts out a lead single, it's not because he wants it to be the absolute biggest hit. To me, this was the beautiful letting the light in, giving us a peek into the full concept. And I think that the idea of we belong together tying everything together throughout this rollout is really special. It reminds me a lot of the whole treat people with kindness mantra. For me, like giving fans that device to hold on to through this felt really special.
Wanna dance with all our friends.
At number 4, we have Dance No More. I would like to dance more. I would like to keep dancing to this song because I am obsessed with it. Though it landed at number 5 on my ranking, I think this is gonna be possibly number 1 from the album in terms of the vibe for the live shows. I want people dancing in the round to this. I want this to be the dance moment. I see it happening, not on some TikTok dance type movements, but on some real moving and grooving. To me, I think if anything best captures the disco that occasionally happens, this is it.
This is actually my favorite song on the album. It is exactly as maximalist as I want Harry Styles' summer-ready call-and-response dance floor filler to be. It's cheeky, it's winking in the sense of it's called Dance No More, but it's obviously this enormous dance song. This is going to absolutely level cities when it's played live.
Mr. Styles, the man that you are. This is my number 1, man. This is so good. It's so groovy, it's so funky. I love how playful and sexy his voice is on this one. It's a banger.
Everything seems to be coming up roses.
Number 3, we have Coming Up Roses. This is a good one. I think my favorite thing about Coming Up Roses is actually the arrangement here. I think these instruments sound gorgeous. I think from the viola to the tuba to the synths, like everything is really, really, really meticulously put together, and I really appreciate how much care was put into that. Generally, in terms of this being, you know, Harry's dance album, there were just a little bit one too many somber moments than I expected on this one, but I think it's warranted.
Coming Up Roses, on which Harry sings, "Just for tonight, let's go hangover chasing." This song made me think of Before Sunrise, that kind of fleeting moment where you know, look, this is not a forever type of love, but we're both in the moment right now and let's make the most of it. It was really powerful to me.
It is a season for yearning, folks. Yearning is in. This is in. Good is crazy because
Good!
this is my number 2.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear more.
At number 2, we have Ready, Steady, Go. Banger, bop, whatever you want to call it. It's got the rock influence, the pop influence there. It's sonically referential to his past work, but also feels so grounded in the present burst of energy that he's bringing to this rollout.
For those of us who enjoyed the dance punk movement of the 2000s with, you know, LCD Sound System, who Harry has cited as an influence, but also the Rapture, Hot Chip, Chick Chick Chick. This is for them. This is the one that is all about that tension, right, of the dance floor release, but also the troubles that you're trying to escape from. And how within a dance song and within kind of like a funky, groove-ready track, you can have some harsh sound effects because that's what you're going through.
I think number 2 is a solid spot for it. Maybe a little bit too high for my liking, but I definitely wouldn't drop it any lower than like 5 or anything like that. I think my big thing with this song is that lyrically it kind of feels like if someone made vague posting a song. Who's Leon? Would love to know. Would love to know.
There is a bridge that leads to troubled water.
And at number 1, we have Carla's song. Not my personal number 1, but I think it's definitely in the top half of the album. I love the build here. I think this is definitely a song that is probably going to close out the live show. If I had to think of which one from the new album probably would take that spot, it'd be Carla's song. I can't wait to hear the crowd like really just take over the vocals from Harry and just, you know, make the song their own. My only gripe with it really is unfortunately the opening lyric. I rolled my eyes, sorry. Like, girl. Okay, Bridge Over Troubled Water.
More than anything, I think it's a great track. More than anything, it's kind of like the Fine Line title track where it's like, oh, obviously this had to be the closing track. Carla's song is very driving and motivational and kind of puts a bow on this album, right? It just kind of builds and builds and builds in the same way that Fine Line did. Very different style of song as Fine Line, but to me it's like, oh, immediately, like no other song could have ended this album better than Carla's song?
In the ranking that we published, it was #1, and it also was my #1.
Oh!
Yes, it felt so aspirational, the synths, the 80s vibe. It felt so hopeful, and maybe that's just my personal bias of maybe I need some hope right now. The world's a little crazy.
It's just dark.
But I think that this is one of the most like raw, powerful moments emotionally on the album, and it just feels like the culmination of everything he's trying to get across.
Can you hear the voice deliver in the
To me, this is cinema.